More than 80 tables worth of sports and gaming collectibles were set up at the IBEW Henry Miller Hall in Rockford Sunday for a card show. Premier card shows put on the event and regularly host these throughout the area. Event promoter John Craig says the hobby's grown significantly over the past 5 years, in part because of the COVID pandemic. As a result, these shows are well attended in terms of the number of collectors and vendors, and Sunday was no different.
You're seeing bigger dollars come into it, celebrity figures. You're getting a lot of people that are switching from stocks into this area. So it's really blossomed over the past couple of years.